This is the Real Ass Podcast.
So I've been working at Sirius XM for like 3 years or so, 4 years. I don't even know. Okay. I started working on Tap Out Radio, which was, you know, the Tap Out brand. And then I was hired as, and that was for free. I was coming in for Tap Out Radio literally for free every single week for a year. Just because I wanted to be on the radio and I thought it was, you know, a good in. Because I met the producers for the MMA channel. And this isn't just Sirius XM. Let me make this very clear. It's not just Sirius XM. This is specifically Sirius XM Rush 93. It's this channel. So I don't want to say fuck Sirius XM altogether, but fuck MMA on Sirius. I'll say that much. Fuck Sirius XM Rush 93, which is a shame because the director of that channel, Marissa Rivas, is an incredible person, good friend of mine, and currently hosts a show on Gas Digital. So she hosts Say It Ain't Snow, the Game of Thrones recap show that they do seasonally. So it's a shame because I know she fucking really fought for this, and she wanted to make it work, but she couldn't, and it is what it is. There's fucking people that are above her that make the decisions, and it stinks. But long story short, Michael Bisping, a few weeks ago, didn't show up for one of his shifts, okay? Which has happened a few times. You know, to be honest with you, he's super busy. It's happened probably like 4 or 5 times in the past couple of years since we've been doing the countdown. It happens once in a blue. You know what I'm saying? It's for, you know, personal reasons. He had some stuff going on. He just fucked up and didn't communicate through the proper channels, and they freaked out, okay? So they put him on suspension for a week, and so yeah, last week they hit me up and they were like, all right, we have to suspend Bisping indefinitely. Will you come on Thursday? We're taking off the countdown altogether. We're not going to call it the countdown. We're going to put together a new show with you and AJ Hawk, who is an NFL player.
Yeah, he played for the Packers.
Yeah. And I've done it. He filled in for Bisping one time in the countdown. I like AJ Hawk a lot. He's a fucking great dude, so I'm not disparaging him. Fucking super cool guy, great at podcasting, great at radio. But I was like, no. I was like, I'm not going to go and do another show in the same time slot without my co-host, Michael Bisping.
Sure.
We've been building a brand. At this point, we're friends. We're not just, it's not like we just fucking show up and do it. And it takes a while to build a brand with somebody. It takes a while to build a brand. It takes a while to build a dynamic. You know, you have to do shows over and over again. And me and Bisping spent a lot of time creating this fucking brand that I think is great. I think it's really funny. I think it's unique. I think we take a different take on MMA. You know, he's a ball buster. He's got a really thick skin. I like doing a show with fucking Michael Bisping, okay? So it's no knock on AJ Hawk. Me and Dave Smith have been talking about doing a morning show for SiriusXM Rush for like 2 fucking years. And they keep on putting it off. And I was like, why don't we do this? Since we've been talking about this test show, and now they're saying September maybe, blah, blah, blah. Why don't we do a test show on Thursday in our time slot? We won't even mention Bisping until we figure this out, because I know he's suspended indefinitely. And then at least it'll buy us another week and see what's up. They were like, no, you can only do the show with AJ Hawk or nobody. So I was like, all right, well, fuck it, I quit. And this is last week, okay? I was like, all right, I can't do it then. Sorry, it is what it is. I quit. So they came back to me like an hour later, and they were like, all right, look, we spoke to the higher-ups. They were like, go on Thursday, do the show by yourself. And I just did the show completely alone, me for 2 hours, and we called it the countdown, and we just pretended that Bisping wasn't on that day. So I guess the higher up boss, whatever his name is, came in yesterday finally from vacation and basically just said, no, we don't know when we're going to bring Bisping back. You know, we're going to kill the countdown for now. And if Lewis doesn't want to do the show with AJ Hawk, then that's that. We could re-examine him doing a morning show in September with Dave Smith. And that's that. So yeah, so I said, fuck it. I said, I don't want, number one, I'm not going to wait around for 2 months to see if I can maybe do a morning. They've been literally saying to me for 2 years, you can do a morning show with Dave Smith. So I'm not going to wait around another 2 fucking months. I already spoke to Bisping. We're going to end up just doing a second podcast every single week. We make, and I mean this, literally 6 times the amount of money on the podcast that we do on the radio show. I mean, not even close. And the podcast just started. It is just growing. But it is just a fucking, you know, I don't like, I'm not even, it's not even like my feelings are hurt. That's not even the term I would use. It's just, it's so painfully obvious, like in the world of the quote unquote industry or Sirius XM or television, they have no fucking vision. There's no loyalty. There's no sense of like, holy shit, we have a guy who is fucking hustling his ass off, who loves doing radio, brings in a fan base. I mean, I remember I went for a meeting, and it's maybe it's just a sports department because, you know, I don't know. Every department is different. Like, you know, Big J and Soder, they're on Comedy Central Radio, so that's separate from Sirius altogether. That's produced by Comedy Central. They basically buy their slot on the channel, right?
Sure.
Ralph, can we buy a slot on Sirius XM? Technically, we could, right? Can we buy a gas digital channel on Sirius XM? It can't be that much.
That'd be great.
Shannon, you're fired. We need to buy a channel on Sirius XM.
You just walk right back into Sirius, like, guess who's back in town?
But I went into them, and this is how, like, this is the way they think. This is the people that were in a they did like a host training meeting. They do these like quarterly meetings, and it's so fucking stupid. But I play the fucking game, right?
Sure.
I go into these meetings. Let me tell you.
Thing number 1: do not rape. Why am I the only one in this meeting?
I mean, this podcast right here, the Real Ass Podcast, is 100 times more valuable than the Countdown in terms of fans, in terms of money, in terms of, you know, building a brand. I was just kind of doing it as an aside.
Yeah, I think so much of that format, too. The whole repeat the same 15 minutes, like, all the time. I mean, A, it's such an outdated format, but B, I think you have that format as an apology for inferior on-air talent.
Yeah.
Because if your talent sucks, I mean, what you want to do is give out the time and weather and traffic. I mean, that's more local radio, but
the way
you have all this shit to cover up for lack of talent. When you have actual talent, though, you don't need that shit. I mean, that's why the whole podcast format, that long form, because when you have people who know what the fuck they're talking about, let them talk.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to be married to that format, but that's why
That's
everyone...
30 minutes past the hour, guys. 91 degrees out.